Anita, how's your mental health?
Questionable at all times. You know this.
Yeah, how's the mental health of your children?
Also a little bit tricky. Can I tell you my experience in trying to find therapists for myself and my kids, Mel?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is how it goes. You ask around your friends and your family for a referral for somebody who's nearby. You finally find somebody who sounds like they might work for your family. You give them a call and you find out that A, they're not accepting new patients, or B, they have a huge wait list. So you start over again and you ask people if they know anybody who would be a good therapist and a good fit. Finally, you find one, you go and you meet with them, and you figure out that you don't actually like them that much. But it's been so much work to find somebody who you can go to in your area that you're kind of stuck with them. Well, do you have any ideas for how to get around this?
I do because guess what? I've actually had some therapists that I have found on my own, which involves what you're saying. Sometimes I remember one time I was like 3 hours in the bathtub on my phone looking
Yeah.
through websites. I was such a prune at the end. But I have also had the experience with working with BetterHelp. And it was like, I don't want to say too good to be true, but because it is true, but it's like amazing because I was matched with my therapist within 24 hours.
And you didn't have to go through all of that other ridiculous process of trying to find somebody. And here's the cool thing too, is if that person didn't work out for you, you can just switch and say, and it's not like you're committing to another years long search for somebody who you're going to jive with.
It's true. And I lucked out, or maybe just BetterHelp is really good at matching people together because I never had to change my therapist. I loved her. Perfect fit for me. And I know that some of our friends have used BetterHelp and they've had to change therapists, and boom, same day, you can change.
Easy peasy.
You can ghost your therapist. Get a new one.
I love this idea. BetterHelp is one of our sponsors. If you use our promo code trybetterhelp.com/WWDN, you get 10% off your first month, and we totally recommend it.
Yes, get some therapy. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN. Well, Anita,
Here we are.
where are we?
We are in our hotel room after Camp Widow has finished.
What did you think?
What a ride. We want to tell you guys about it. Do you want to hear about it?
I don't think they have a choice unless they hit stop.
They can always hit stop.
Just remember that.
So we left on Thursday to come to Camp Widow in the evening, and our flights got changed like 42 times before it was time for us to go, which is totally annoying, but also the state of the world right now. So we got into the airport, no problem, except for that. Our flight said that it was delayed, which was my nightmare. I was so worried because of the problems that Southwest had the week before that they were just going to cancel our flight and we were going to be scrambling.
But we could have driven.
Mel was always, that was her backup plan. But we got into the airport. It said the flight was delayed by like half an hour. No big deal. We got in. We went and had dinner. We were totally relaxed. We sat in the terminal. And then we heard, Mel Shore, Anita Coyle, this is your final boarding call.
We were trying to figure out how to connect with all of our Widow Wives Club friends at Camp Widow, and we were ignoring everything else. And so I guess we almost missed our flight just because we love you so much.
And it just turns out that our flight was, in fact, not delayed anymore. It went from delayed to undelayed, which I don't know how that happens. But we made it on the flight. It was like the walk of shame. We were the last people onto the flight. It was a little stressful.
Anita was very stressed.
And then we got here.
We made it, and we got an Uber, and the guy forgot to shut the car door with all of our gear in the back, so we almost lost it all, including this microphone that we're talking on right now.
Obviously, we got that taken care of, and then we got to the hotel, and I thought to myself, you know, we probably should have figured out what our confirmation number for the hotel was, because the Camp Widow people made our reservations that we were speaking, and I went to the desk and they had no reservation for us.
Nope, none. We're like, you know what, though? This is kind of on brand for widow life. Like, really? We'll figure it out.
Absolutely. So we checked under Mel's name. We checked under my name. We tried to see if they had emailed us a confirmation code. No confirmation code. We went away to sit on a bench to try and figure it out. And then I went back to talk to the guy, and the manager was brilliant. And he looked for our reservation under my first name, and they had misspelled my last name. So we found our reservation, and we were able to come and get in our room. And then...
So everyone, you are now speaking to Anita Cole.
Mm-hmm. If you need to find me, that's my alias.
So we presented on the first day of the conference, which was Friday.
It was so exciting. Mel was super in charge boss of all of the AV stuff. We had to talk to the AV guy who was like, please leave me alone.
Yep. And then he regretted it later. But we were really excited. Our topic was redefining widowhood, and we were so excited to see a lot of people there because we thought we would only have like one person. Actually, two.
Yeah, we thought we'd have our Widow Wives Club members and then maybe like somebody who got lost and wandered into the wrong room because, you know, we're kind of an unknown entity to a lot of people. And we had a pretty good turnout, I would say.
Yeah, we were surprised. We met a lot of fun new friends. About half of the audience was Widow Wives Club members that knew of us, and then the rest of them were not. And we got to know some of them, and they are so much fun. Hello, shout out Candice, Rona, Tanya.
Elisabeth.
Like, holy cow, you guys. So many friends, so many new friends.
And remember how I was really nervous about our presentation? Everybody remember that? It went amazingly well. We had technical difficulties. We ran out of time, and it was awesome. All of it was awesome. I feel like we really connected with the audience, and I hope that we gave them some good information, which I think we did.
Yeah, we tried to not be just ridiculous, but mix kind of normal things and helpful things with the ridiculous. So, yeah, I would say that all in all, it went well.
Yeah, super great feedback from the audience. We had people coming up to us throughout the weekend to tell us how much they enjoyed our presentation. And then it was way fun to get to chat and learn other people's stories. And I think we probably got about 27 new Widow Wives Club members over the weekend.
So those of you that are already in there, please welcome the new people.
Yes, it's very, very exciting.
We had fun, too, connecting with everybody that was not at Camp Widow because thank you to Sunshine. She started a really nice hashtag. What was it?
It was not at Camp Widow, damn it. Hashtag not at Camp Widow, damn it, which was so funny. You guys were so funny about that. So
yeah, thanks to everyone for putting up with all the Camp Widow posts. I know that it was a bummer that we couldn't have everybody there, but hopefully at some point we'll get to see many of you in the coming months and years. That sounds
and eons and decades. We'll be able to meet you. Newsflash, though, they have more than one Camp Widow. There's Camp Widow in Tampa.
March 3rd to the 5th, 2022.
And they have a Camp Widow in Toronto.
Yes, right now I think it
got canceled this year because of COVID.
Yeah. And then the next one for San Diego is actually in July of 2022 because that's when they normally have it. So it's not typically this month, but
yeah. So there's other options, and then they do a bunch of pop-ups, I guess, where it's just like a day they go to different cities all over the place. And guess what? They just did one in Australia. And
they did?
Yes. And I hope they'll do it again because the founders, her new husband is Australian. And so they have connections there. So there's hope for you, all of our Australian buddies, that you too will get to be able to enjoy a Camp Widow experience.
Yes. And can we just talk a little bit about what Camp Widow is like? We have the schedule in front of us. And just so you all know, they run these in blocks, and during each block of time there are many different workshops that people can go to, and there are things for the newly widowed, recently widowed, mid-widowed, late widowed.
They call them
seasoned widows.
And then they also have tracks for the LGBTQ plus community,
survivors of suicide, loss.
They had a COVID group this year, so they have a lot of ways to connect with people with similar experiences. And we had a mixer where we were able to connect with people with similar stories to our own. So I attended a very small group that was called Deaths Associated with the Water. So that was interesting to meet some other people. We talked about how water holds some fear for many of us now, and I talked to them about how I swim now, and I had to get over kind of some of those really hard emotions because I spend a lot of time in the water right next to where Jason spent his final moments alive.
Like literally his
Yes.
last breaths.
Yes, and right by there. So that was really interesting. Mel joined a group of bicycle deaths because her group was too big.
Yeah, there was a sudden death table and it was very, very packed. And I just thought, this other one over here has one person. I'm going to go over there. And then I asked them, I'm an imposter for bicycle and motorcycle death. Can I come here? They're like, yeah. So shout out to all my new bike death friends that accepted me.
That's such a strange sentence, but it's not strange in the context of Camp Widow because that's totally what it was like. And then I got to meet with other widows who have kids and young kids, and so that was also really cool.
Yeah, it was heartwarming and fun to see people come up to Anita that also had kids and were just trying to get through the day. There are the topics of, yes, I need to self-care, but there are logistical issues and people do not understand that. So that was really nice to see that people were finding their people there and able to commiserate about the same things and talk about the same kinds of struggles that they deal with every day and all that. So did it help you?
I actually...
You're like, no.
No, it did. I'm going to be honest, I was a little bit skeptical when I went to one of the classes, which was a panel about kids and having kids, and mostly because the panelists were like, I have one child, I have two children, and I was like, girl, like, you don't have anything to tell me, and I was being kind of a jerk in my head, but actually they did say some things that I thought were really useful, and one of the things that was said, that is funny that it just struck me the way, was that they said widowhood is not created equally. And they were talking kind of what Mel was just saying. People have different situations, and it really is logistically, it's harder for some people. And it's not just kids or no kids, but some widows have very traumatic stories, or some widows, and it's not a grief comparison. It's not that, but some widows are in terrible financial situations and they have to work 3 jobs just to stay afloat. One of the women in the group had a child with Down syndrome. So, you're dealing with, and she had 4 other kids. So she's dealing with a child with special needs, and she's dealing with these other kids, and she lived in a rural area. And so it just struck me that that's really, really true. While we don't compare our grief, we do have to give ourselves some grace when our situations are just really hard, and we have to choose the most important thing and do that, and not beat ourselves up about not being able to do everything, because you just can't.
Can I also say that I loved to see so many people with non-traditionally colored hair, like mine there.
Yes.
Like our friend Jen, and like so many people of all different ages. We met some of our good friends that are in their 20s and early 30s, and then all the way up to my new BFF, Dalin, who I don't actually know how old she is, but she's probably up there. She was amazing. And the thing that was so cool about Camp Widow, it's like you see people wearing the lanyard, so you know they're a widow, and much like you all know because you are in the widow wives community, and you know how when you meet a widow, even over the internet, you instantly bond. It's the same like that, but in person. And so it's easy to talk to them. You immediately share a sisterhood or siblinghood, because there, of course, were men there. So yeah, it was a really great, safe space. And they had a room that was a mindfulness room or a self-care room. Mm-hmm. And then everybody, here's all my dog people, they had therapy dogs there. It was the best. Also, they had massages there in the lobby. So they know what they're doing. They really ran the event well, and it was really interesting and fun for us to get to experience that and to meet a lot of new people.
We're really hoping that they'll let us come back. We're not sure, though. We got some feedback from a lady who was in the class next to ours, and she was like, were you that class that was laughing so much?
I don't think she was mad, though. She's like, I was in the meditation class next door. And so the teacher would be like, okay, breathe in and breathe out, and let's be silent. And then all of a sudden, through the wall is our class. So I think we interrupted their mindfulness.
Yeah, we did tell that to the people. We said maybe we don't need to be next to the meditation room if we get to speak again. And they said, noted.
Yes.
They had lots of social activities as well. We had a ball, like an actual ball, not like we had a ball. And Mel and I pulled out the Care Bear suits for that. And my favorite was we met a man and he was like, what are these? And we're like, we're the Care Bears. Deadpan, he goes, I don't have children. I don't know what those are. And like walked away. Like,
he was the best.
He was very serious, very stoic, was not interested in our shenanigans.
It was really fun to hear how the organization started. And Michelle Neff Hernandez is amazing. And it's amazing to see and hear what they became from what they started out as.
Absolutely. And the keynote speakers and the presentations were all amazing. And then when we got to the end, they talked to us about the post-Camp Widow crash, which is a real thing. And they talked about when we go home, we've been in this environment where everybody kind of gets it. And you can talk about your dead person and you can joke about things and you can, they were saying you can wear a shirt with the word widow on it and not feel weird. And we were like, oh, we do that all the time.
Yeah, we do that every day.
But that we're going to find out that our life when we get back is the same life that we left, but that we are changed. And hopefully we have a few new tools to deal with the really difficult reality of being widowed.
And to those of our friends who were not married at the time of your partner's death, or you are in the LGBTQ plus community and you feel like you are unseen, there were some really great topics that we were not allowed to go to because we are not in those communities, and they wanted those to be a safe space for members of that. But one of the ones that looked like it would be so amazing is called Invisible Bereavement. Here is the caption for the class. This workshop is for those who have lost partners who were not legally married and or whose relationships were not known or recognized by others. We will discuss the many ways that this invisible bereavement affects our grief experience and our ability to get support as we move through our grief. It will also provide a safe space for people to discuss the loss of their partner while in non-traditional relationships such as open or others. So there's really something for everyone. And hopefully same-sex marriage has been legalized in all 50 states only since 2015. So I know that there are people that have been widowed before that, or that still live in states right now where it's not recognized socially among certain types of people. So there's something for everyone, even if in your normal communities you don't feel seen. So this is going to be a little shorty episode today. We just wanted to let everybody know what Camp Widow is like and what it's all about. And even though we were not able to record and distribute our talk, we do have something that we have been preparing to share with you from that. And I'm so excited.
It's amazing. Mel did such a good job getting this all put together. And we really hope you enjoy
this production of What Do We Do Now? So what it is, many of you have listened to the episode of our friend Lynn Rothrock. She is one of my musician friends. She's a singer. She's a fabulous lyricist, cabaret performer. And we wanted to do a special song for our Camp Widow presentation and make it available on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, YouTube, all of the things. So what we have done is Lynn has created special lyrics to the song. It's originally by Peggy Lee. It's called I'm a Woman, but this is called I'm a Widow. And we have a video that goes along with it as well. So look on our Instagram, look on YouTube, and you will see that. And those of you who are subscribed to our newsletter, you'll have a link in there as well to watch the video. But we're going to play the audio from that song right now. So if you want to buy it, go buy it. And if you don't, just listen to this podcast.
Without further ado, here is I'm a Widow.
I can take out the garbage for the garbage truck arrives. I can shovel snow, I can chip away the ice. I can mow the grass, rake all the leaves in the fall. Since my husband died, I guess I have to do it all. 'Cause I'm a widow, done can put up with in-laws, cook the meals and pay the bills? Who can handle the lawyer, county clerk, and deal with wills? Who can pick up the pieces when it all falls into bits? Who can take care of others, her sisters and brothers, and still not lose her wits? She's a widow, W-I-D-O-W. It's what they do. I can keep on going when life hands me the worst. I can keep on breathing though my heart just wants to burst. Just look at me close and you will see someone who's strong. I don't know how, I'm not sure why, but somehow I'll get along. 'Cause I'm a widow, W-I-D-O-W. It's what I do. Yes, I'm a widow, and there ain't nothing I can't do.
This is my favorite thing to discuss with you.
Tell me, what is it?
One of my favorite things. I do enjoy tacos and cheese and dogs. This is about how you cannot pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a phone plan, especially when you're a widow, your person is dead, you might have kids, you might need another option, and you just want your phone to work, you want unlimited texting and service, and you want it to be like $25 a month.
It blows my mind that they have plans that start at $15 a month. That is so cheap. And the cool thing is it uses other 5G networks, and so you don't have to pay extra for that, and you still get great service.
Yep, Anita and I have traveled all over, and I have used my phone. So I highly recommend it, and my mom's even on it. When my dad died, we put his phone down to the cheapest plan, which is $15 a month. And I think my mom's on the $20 a month plan, and it's so worth it. It's so much cheaper than what we were all paying before. So I highly recommend it if you're on a budget or not. Who cares? Ryan Reynolds is in charge of the company, and they send you free stickers with Ryan Reynolds temporary tattoos. It's kind of the best. So if somebody wants to sign up, what can they do, Anita?
Go to trymintmobile.com/WWDN. Seriously, you guys, such a great idea. Save yourself some money.
And if you're worried about losing data or having any changes with your phone, not going to happen. They walk you through it. Everything's fine. It's the easiest process of all time. Again, that's
trymintmobile.com/WWDN.